Well, good morning. I wanted to speak with you all a little bit about what the Bible tells us in Matthew 11 about spiritual rest or resting in Christ, and just a few thoughts there from that passage. But I guess first, kind of an introduction, just thinking about the value of proper rest to our bodies. And just this last week, my wife was dealing with kind of a head cold congestion, sinus infection thing, and it's one of the hardest things about being sick sometimes is just not being able to sleep and get the rest and recovery that you need. One of the things that I look at from time to time is, I guess kind of thinking of this idea of physical training and improvement. And there's this idea that's kind of simple, but I guess the principle is stress plus rest equals progress. And the idea of having a balance there of, if you just continue to stress your body, it breaks down and you get injured and all sorts of bad things happen. But at the same time, if you did nothing but rest, you just get flabby and soft. So there's a balance. But anyway, let's read that in Matthew 11, 28 to 30. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And there's really, when you start getting into this, you just find so much in these verses about the Lord's character and his relationship to us. But a couple things that I guess I would highlight is this passage is kind of another facet of the gospel message, isn't it? The gospel call of come to me, what Jesus is saying there. We know that from other verses that are kind of similar, parallel, I guess, ideas. In John 7, there's, if anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink. And later says, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water. John 6, I'm the bread of life. Whoever comes to me shall not hunger. And in this case, the qualifier of coming to the Lord is those who are weary and heavy laden. And in spiritual terms, just as we need spiritual nourishment for our souls, we need spiritual rest in the Lord. And this is kind of thinking about this, it's kind of a call to leave off with the former employer and serve a new employer. Serving the Lord. So quit serving self, quit serving sin and serving the enemy, and find rest in serving the Lord. I'm just thinking about how, some of you might have had difficult employers and bosses to have to deal with, or maybe a teacher in school that was difficult, and just how much of a burden that is going to work every day and having to submit to that person. But how much different it is when you have somebody that's worthy of serving and is a joy to serve. That's kind of the first thing. I guess the second thing is that I'm thankful for in this passage is the idea of the easy yoke that it talks about in 29. Kind of the idea. I guess I'll just mention. You probably have an idea in your mind of what a yoke looks like, maybe. But long before there were tractors and farm equipment out there, the farmers kind of relied on their livestock to do their work in the field, and so the yoke was used, kind of went around the animal's neck. A lot of times it would join. Maybe there'd be two of them joined together, two oxen, and it would allow the farmer to stand behind with the reins and have control over that animal or those animals and be able to kind of steer them in the right path, and then also kind of joins the animals together so that you'd have more power. You'd increase the power of the work being done. But just thinking of that in a spiritual sense, as we as believers are kind of yoked together in doing the work. We're kind of working together, one another, yoked together. And the farmer is like the Lord, kind of behind us, steering us with the reins. And we're kind of all plowing we're all working together, all plowing the field together at His direction. And this spiritual work is not burdensome when we're serving the Lord. He's made it easy for us, that we do this work from a place of rest and peace with Him. And then I guess the last thing I would mention is, the Lord is good to us. He's in the example, he'd be a good farmer. He's going to love those who serve Him and take care of us. He's gentle with us. We know that He's the good shepherd. He's not going to overwork us or beat us out of anger or something when we get out of line. But He's gentle. Verse 29, I'm gentle and humble in heart, it says. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep there in John 10. He knows our frame, doesn't he? He remembers what we're like. He's not going to give us more work or more difficult things than we can handle, and I'm thankful for that. He helps us to be able to manage the work that He gives us. And then, kind of the same thought there, that He's going to guide us in the way. He's going to direct us in the path we should take and the work we should do. He's going to give us grace to complete our work. Just like the farmer out there, with his animals, he's going to care for them, right? He's going to feed them, water them, give them rest whenever they need rest, in order to stay in good shape. So I guess, so in conclusion, we shouldn't fear coming to the Lord to find rest for our souls, but just trust Him and trust Him that He'll provide the rest that we need. And then also, it's just, the gospel message, calls to the sinner, no longer serve yourself or the enemy, but come to Jesus and find your spiritual rest, that He's worthy. As it says there, taste and see that the Lord is good. But that's all I had. So.